Hey man, the scooter ain't too bad, ain't too shabby. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Check it out. It is the Varla Eagle 1 dual suspension electric scooter and actually dual motor. So it's like a two-wheel drive, really high power electric scooter. Really kind of cool how it has a front and rear suspension. We're gonna take it out here into the dirt roads and also onto the main roads and just kind of like ride it around. They also sent me some off-road tires, which I'll be putting on at a later date. We'll do more of an off-roading type of review. Anyway, let's get started with the Varla Eagle 1 electric scooter. We're gonna unbox it here, set it up, and then we'll go ahead and do our ride test. See how it does. Let's get started. Okay guys, let's unbox this cool looking scooter. So coming out of the box, it's initially just all folded up in styrofoam. Handlebars. Holy smokes, look how fat that rear fender is. Extra tube here. That'll come in handy. And then maybe we can pull this up and take out this center styrofoam. Awesome. We'll pull these out later. It's just a few little items in here, like looks like the charger, the plug, and some other parts that are way down there. Oh wow, a whole multi-tool. That's pretty cool. Now we should be able to just like lift this whole thing out of the box. Wow, this is not light. This is not light at all, guys. This is one heavy bugger. I'd imagine it's gotta be with all those electric motors and high-powered battery packs in here. But look at that, there's the deck. Nice Velcro deck with a flaming skull. Look at those swing arms. I have never had a scooter that's like this robust before. Little kickstand, that's cool. There it is, man, big old motors right here in the hubs of both front and rear. 52 volt, 1000 watt motors, two of them. And here's where that big old Mac Daddy battery pack, and they gave me a few extras. Cool, the grip tape tops. And I think this was the one I requested from them, this like American flag in black and white. Looks like they just sent me all of them in this kind of graffiti looking. I'll just stick with the skull for now and put these on once the other stuff gets worn out. But there it is, guys, that's the scooter, man. I am stoked to try this thing out, man. Just heavy duty stuff right here. Look at that, springs. You can adjust the preload on the suspension for heavier, lighter riders. Same thing on the front. You got that same kind of shock with the preload adjustment. You know, big old axle nuts right here, easy to work on. Front fender, looks like these light up here. We got lights on the side in red, and then the whole rear fender lights up as well. And that should also be a brake light. It is just kind of a, you know, if there was anything that didn't look as strong as the rest of the scooter, it would be these little fenders. See how they're just kind of flapping, but you know, that's just to basically keep the dirt off of you. There's the tires. So these are like the road tires, and looks like they've got pretty good amount of air in them. Big disc brakes right here, the brake line. Apparently this has a separate battery for the front and the back. So dual batteries that kind of work in unison. If you want to save power and you're not doing off-road stuff, turn off the front motor, and you can just use the rear and save half the power for like long distances. Charge ports for the two batteries in there. I'm just gonna flip it like this and see if there's anything significant on the bottom I need to look at. Nope. Just a solid plastic plate holding the battery and supporting the rider. So that's it, another disc brake on the back. But there it is, guys, pretty cool. Little set of keys here, so nobody can really steal your bike. Of course, they could lift it, but at least they won't be able to drive it. Let's take off some of this packing material. Okay. So there's a screen. Wow, a bunch of levers here. So like braking, and this looks like the throttle. It's got a little bell right here. Little bell. And you know, all this stuff is kind of loose, so you're gonna have to put this on and adjust it to your liking if you don't want to have that two-wheel drive using up all that power. You just turn it off right here. And then it looks like two different speed modes. You know, you're just going for long distance traveling. Put it in eco mode, you want all that power. Put it in turbo mode. Very simple. We're gonna see how this screen looks when we power it up. Let's get this thing mounted up here and then we'll take it for a ride. Oh my gosh, they actually send pads with this thing. knee pads and elbow pads, and wrist pads. So guys, this is not a slow scooter. This thing goes very fast. So here it is, owner's manual. And here are the specs here. So 52 volt, 18 AH lithium battery, dual motor, like I was saying, 1000 watts each. It's got the LCD on the handlebars. Max speed is 25 miles per hour. Max range, 40 plus miles. It definitely depends on if you're an eco, turbo, or if you have both motors on or just one. Charging time is going to take a while, 8 to 9 hours it looks like on a depleted battery. A 2 amp charger, that's why it takes so long. 2 amps isn't really that much amperage going into that big, or those two big battery packs. These are 10-inch air tires. They are saying it is a 77-pound scooter, so that is not a light scooter. And it can hold 265 pounds, so a scooter like this looks like it will be able to handle my weight. Diagram of what the stuff on the LCD means. Here's how those batteries are laid out. A little bit of troubleshooting in the back, and that's really it for the manual. Let's start with that cool toolkit they gave us. Let's start putting these handlebars on. But before we do that, we got to check out everything that comes in here. Cool multi-tool here. We've got caps. Oh, cool. These look like caps for the axle nuts, if you wanted to cover those up and protect them. Try to put one of these on real quick. A little bit of styrofoam there, but see how those just can go on? That way you're not like damaging the threads, and also, you know, not hitting, like if you run into something, it's not really breaking anything else. So that's a cool little protective feature. We got our wall plug, which is our regular figure 8. And it looks like the only other thing in here is the big old bulky wall brick, charging brick. And so only one charger, so we're gonna have to see how this works. Okay guys, well that's the unboxing. Everything is out of the box. Let's set this thing up. We want this stem here to be secured, so you kind of saw how I initially put it up. This collar just kind of slides up or down to lock it. You just have it up for folded up mode, and then you push the whole thing all the way up, and then you just slide this collar down and kind of work it over. Locks in over that joint, and then you just got these two clamps. On this side there's these thumb screws. Tighten or loosen these thumb screws. On the other sides is these clamps. And then see how the clamps just kind of easily clamp shut. So that's kind of loose. That's really loose. So I'm going to go ahead and screw down this thumb screw while they're open just a little bit, just so they're nice and tight. You know, this is like a multi-terrain scooter, and so we don't want this thing to be rattling loose when we're doing our off-road stuff. That feels pretty good. So there's no way that that arm can now go down until you do that opposite, slide it up. There is an extension collar here, so if you wanted to slide this tube up and down, a little higher, a little lower, looks like you're only going to have about an inch to go lower because of these cables. But you see this slot right here, there is a tube inside here, and looks like we've got another few inches to go up. Okay, so next up, grab our multi-tool, and it looks like we want to be taking these things off, the actual handlebar clamp. I want to loosen these up and then get our handlebars in there, right? There we go. Okay, so it looks to me like the way these handlebars are going to go on is they need to kind of twist over. The screen wants to be on the right side, and the handlebars are going to be up. So it's like we'll do a twist and then a mount up like this. There we go. Our mode button here on the left, our bell on the left, and our brakes on the left and right, and then our screen is going to be right up here. Basically just like that, and then screwing this clamp on the handlebars to make sure that this whole thing can hold together. So these screws, we just want to kind of screw them in, not tight at first. Just get them like locked in there, and so we can kind of move the handlebars around where we want. Once we get these handlebars exactly where we want, we'll crank them down with this tool to have in the box. Okay, and these guys seem pretty easy peasy. Just slide them all the way as far to the grips as they can go, stack them up against each other, and then it's just a matter of where these things are comfortable for your height and your grip. Basically just putting them in the right positions and then tightening all these bolts down how you want them. Don't want to be reaching down to get the brake. You want to have it easy access. Okay guys, and that really pretty much is it. This is going to take you the longest amount of time to kind of configure all these and tighten them, these two handlebar clusters, aside from charging it. So I definitely recommend plugging this thing in while you're working on this, just to get the charging started. I'm going to charge after the fact right now, but just a quick little, you know, test here. Just make sure everything's sturdy. Going to stand up on it, make sure everything feels comfortable. Plug our key in. Let's see if it works here. Turning on. Nice. 52 volts. Looks like that's a voltage meter there. This is off. No throttle until we actually turn this thing on. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Click and hold. There we go. Wow, nice color display. You guys see that? And this thing actually looks like it's almost fully charged. It's like 75% charged here. And that thing's going to be tracking all of our stuff, right? So just looking at the display, mile per hour, what gear we're in. If we click that, I'm feeling a little bit of voltage going to the tires. I can hit mode here. Oh, that just dropped our battery down a little. So it looks like maybe it's 60% charge. Hitting mode, gear 2, gear 3. And that looks like 1, 2, 3 is really all you can do with the mode switch. If we hold mode down, turns on the lights. Cool. A little light reticle came up on the display. And oh, that's so cool, man. Look at these lights here. 2 high-powered LED lights, one on each side of the front of the deck here. So you can light your way and also have that visibility as a safety measure. And the rear as well. So 2 red LED lights in the same location but on the rear, and then that's going to be our brake light, right? Let's see if that brake light comes on. Nope, that brake light doesn't come on, but when I do hit the brakes, I'm seeing these LEDs on the back blink. So that's with the lights on. I hold this mode button down again, turns the lights off. I want to make sure we have brake lights. Yeah, that's basically the setup, guys. Powering off, turning the key all the way off, and it looks like everything just shuts off. But when you do turn on, you do have to hold this to power it on. All right, so far so good. Just taking it nice and smooth. Gonna go down some gravel here into the driveway. And then we'll get on the road. See how it is. Yeah, that suspension feels good. So, yeah, so left brake is rear. I got to remember that. And the right is the front. Yeah, so you don't want to hit the wrong one. Just take it right up here. So this is full throttle in low mode. Nice and mellow. Remember, 2-wheel drive mode as well. It's feeling pretty good. A little skid there. And here we go. Let's do it. Go down here. I'm going to actually click in on the controller here. I'm going to go ahead and click mode. Let's see if that gives us more power. Let's see. Back down to 1. Clicking between mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. I can see on my speedometer. The only bad thing, guys, is you see how to get the throttle right, the screen is kind of pointing down too to get the throttle where you want. So you can't really pivot the screen separately than the throttle here. So that's my only con so far. So just go ahead and take a nice drive down here to where I normally do on skateboards and stuff. Woo, getting a little windy. We'll just go down. So this is full throttle right now. And I'm maxing out at like 33 kilometers per hour, going slightly downhill. Still doing good though. Yeah, one-handed operation. I want to reach into my pocket for that Skydio 2 controller for tracking, and I just really don't want to do that. Full throttle going up in eco mode. I'm going to switch into turbo. Oh, that took turbo off, did it? Okay, yeah. So it looks like the button out is turbo mode on that orange button there in my thumb. Because when I pressed eco, it just like completely just like went all the way pretty powerless. All right, that's Skydio is avoiding traffic, hopefully. Okay, so looks like I am in turbo mode. And remember, this is just one. I'm gonna go stop right here in this straightaway. And I'm gonna readjust my, this is just 1-wheel drive right now. Don't really need the 2-wheel. I'm gonna just adjust it down to the back right. I know there's trees here, but I just wanna see what it does on that Skydio. So yeah, yellow button in. Turbo mode. Or eco mode. The yellow button out, turbo mode. Yeehaw, here we go. Letting off the throttle here. And I can just kind of coast. You know, not really seeing any like regen on there or anything. We'll just go up this road here. I don't even know if I'm in single motor or dual motor. Let's check it out. So I'm full throttle up this like 5%. Oh yeah, that's dual motor. I just pressed that red button and it gave me a lot more power. Okay? On that dual motor. So that was pretty awesome. Just go up here real quick. Looks like I got that drone on the wrong side of me. I'm going to turn around right here before this house. There we go. So that dual motor, man, lots of power. It's funny because when dual motor's on, the button's out. Or button's in, but when eco mode's on, the button's out. Is that right? Let's see how it does up this hill here. Yeah, just really bogging. Click in that dual motor and there we go. Now this is like a 10% slope, guys. So you just really click in that dual motor. You know, if you want to really get some power there. You don't really need the dual motor. You go ahead and click it off. It saves some power. Where'd that drone go? That Skydio is kind of funny sometimes. Skydio's stuck in the tree. Hey, what's new, right? Happens pretty often there, it seems. Let's see if he can find me again. Let's see if it'll come out. There it goes. So that's the thing about the Skydio, guys, is he can kind of be a little bit of a nuisance. Anyway, continuing on with the scooter, I'm going to go back home and we're going to try to go kind of in some dirt trails, kind of see how it works. You know, so far so good. That suspension's really good, but I'm not using it much. Whoops, that's the highway. Let's turn around here. Of course, going uphill, hit that dual motor mode and bam, that gives you a ton of power. Don't need to waste that power anymore. Click it off. And there we go. We're back to kind of like not wasting all that power. So yeah, good feature, man. Turn it on when you need it, turn it off when you don't. Seems pretty cool. Want to speed up quick, hit that dual motor. Yeah, that acceleration is definitely pretty quick when you hit that dual motor. Woo! Dual motor power. Whoa, don't hit anything, Skydio. All right, dual motor off. Save some power. Okay, this is the life. Solo tracking. Yeah, when I press eco mode, it just really bogs down. So it's almost like you never want to use eco mode unless you're on totally flat, like in town or something, you know, save yourself some power. So now I'm getting flat here. I might want to turn eco mode on. It just really drops my speedometer too. This is flat here and I'm down to like 24. Press the button, so the button pops out. That turns eco mode off. Now I'm able to get up in the 30 kilometer range. Okay, that's how that thing's working. Woo! See if that drone can keep up with me. Yeah, it seems like I'm maxing out like 36, 37 kilometers per hour, guys. Need a boost? Press that dual motor. Didn't really do much when I'm going this fast, just to let you know. Uh-oh. And guess what? That Skydio lost me. So we got to go back and find it. Hope it didn't hit a tree. I don't hear it. Now I hear it. It's like stuck in the tree over there. Remember guys, this is not a Skydio 2 review, but you are seeing the negatives and the positives while I'm trying to self-film myself on this scooter. The Varla Eagle 1. Little slalom. See how it does around this corner. Bumps. Oh yeah, those shocks just soak it right up. Okay. So little bumps and stuff, no problem. Just soaking. Skydio, where are you? Boy, it just zoomed around that corner. Fall a little closer. So it seems guys like, I mean, I know this is a scooter review, but always, you know, finding out different things. It seems like you want it to follow you quite close and tight if you're in like a forestry area like this. Otherwise, it just doesn't know what to do, you know what I mean? Okay, low battery. So you know what? I'm gonna land this drone, guys, and we are going to put another battery in it. We're gonna go off up here right outside my house. I'm in the forest and we can go down some trails and stuff. So we'll see how this scooter does. I don't have the dirt tires on, but you know, they're pretty hard packed trails. So I think it'll be okay with these kind of road tires. All right guys, got a new battery in the drone and maybe a little bit better mounting system for another cam on the scooter. All right, let's see how we do in this dirt. So this two-wheel drive is definitely the one to do if you're in the dirt. Seems to do pretty dang good. All right, on some rocks here. Let's see how it does, guys. Okay, remember these are the street tires. Ooh, yeah, it's going. It is able to do that. Waiting for the drone again, as usual. Please, will you follow me? All right. Kind of done waiting for that drone. We're just gonna do what we gotta do. And hopefully it can find us in one way or another. Not going that fast, but anyway, here it is, guys. This is how it is on single track, dirt, and some rocky sections. Whoa. Feeling a bottom out once in a while here. It's doing better than I thought, especially with these road tires. Not bad at all. Drone issues. I think I'm gonna have to turn around here and find this drone. Loose stuff, not that great. Hard pack, okay. Loose stuff, it gets really squirrely because the tires are somewhat small, you know, but it's got power in this stuff. That's pretty awesome. Hey man, the scooter ain't too bad, ain't too shabby for this stuff. That's where you want to be careful. Little rock section there, right? Oh. So that's where it gets kind of hairy when you're going downhill in rocks, pretty much on anything. Oh, there we go. Oh man. Oh, so I ate it on that root. All right. There's the Skydio remote. We'll do a damage assessment when we get back, but man, that kind of hurt there. So stuff like this, you know, you got to watch out. Try to weave in between that and you're bound to hang up on something. Well, back on the trail, that was a pretty hard fall. So you got to be careful of roots and stuff with this thing, you know. Lean way back, pick your line good, because that really hurt. Yeah, I don't remember this much rocks. It's time to get back home before I get lost. And I lost my Skydio. Ooh! Yeah, there's a route. Had to bust out the phone and GPS to, you know, make sure I was on the right track, but definitely seen my tire tracks. Okay, I think we're on the correct little offshoot trail. Boy, my arm's really hurting from that fall. So, you know, my advice, take it really slow on these kinds of trails because you can get hurt. Okay guys, we are back and I do not see my Skydio. So this is quite concerning. Honestly, I have no idea where my dang Skydio is. So definitely a negative one for the Skydio. Pretty darn good for the scooter. I'm gonna have to go look for this, but let's go ahead and do kind of a final assessment on the Varla Eagle One scooter. Got a little bit dirty on there. That's to be definitely normal. Battery power, it looks like we only used barely a fragment, like 25%. And I was using the dual motors through that off-road terrain. You can tell it's in dual motor mode by, you know, both front and rear spin. Damage assessment, I felt it hit pretty hard when I crashed. Let's see, I was thinking it hit over here somewhere. Yeah, I'm feeling a little dent down here. That's probably where it hit some rocks. And it almost felt like it hit the brake rotor, but the brakes were not really binding or anything after that. So far so good, guys. So a little pros and cons. Like I was saying during the ride, it's just got small scooter wheels. So trying to go over rocky terrain, stumps and stuff is going to be a bit challenging, and really coming downhill. Going uphill, not so bad because you can just lean back and have that tire kind of float over all that stuff on the front. But coming downhill is where, you know, your center of gravity kind of goes forward, and that is the reason why I had that kind of major fall. No really scrapes or anything, just a couple of bruises, so no big deal. Just make sure you have probably better gear than what I'm wearing, which is really no gear at all. But so far so good as far as the durability. I mean, I think I kind of really put this thing through a trail test, crashed it. We did a road test. I do want to put on those knobby tires, those off-road tires, so I'll be trying that. The only thing is not like a regular bike where you can have a separate set of rims unless you want to have those electric motors already in the rims and tires. So you have to take off these tires from the rims, which are attached to the motors, and put on the knobby tire. So I'll be doing that in a later video, but I hope you enjoyed that. It was super fun. That dual motor capability is just awesome. A little bit of a con here is it's a little bit confusing to know what is what. It seems like the buttons are pushed in the opposite directions. You know, single is out, dual motor is in on the red, and then eco seems to be in, and then turbo is out. It's kind of like, you know, you would think turbo would be pushed in, but it's the opposite way. So that's a little bit of a con there. It's cool that you can see your voltage. This actual readout here, this tachometer, is really awesome. It looks like we went 7 kilometers, and like I was saying, we're not even 25% down on power. I did notice that one of the handles grips, they can turn pretty easy. That happened to me when I hit a bump. It kind of like pushed this thing down. So probably want to crank these Allen screws down to really clamp those grips on. But it is kind of cool how you can adjust those how you want as well. But as far as any damage, I don't see anything at all. I thought maybe this thing would maybe be a little off center. The wheel is still perfectly center with the handlebars. The main rod right here, the front rod, is perfectly fine. No bending, no damage to that. So it looks like it's going to be a durable scooter. Bonus too is those lights. You know, if you just hold the mode button down, those lights turn on the front and the back. I probably should have turned to gear 2 and 2.3 to see if it got any higher top speed. I think I was maxing out at about 36 kilometers per hour. I think it's definitely fast enough for the size of scooter it is and the size of tires. And the brakes were really good, you know, they're disc brakes. They work very well. There's that tail light blinking. Anyway guys, I hope you liked that review, and join me in some other reviews on some cool electric scooters and skateboards and bikes, which I'll be doing in the near future. So hang in there, subscribe, give it a like if you liked the video, and lots more to come. But I hope you enjoyed that Varla Eagle One scooter review, my initial review. Remember, putting on those knobby tires. I'm going to do some more trail riding when I have a little bit more time here and kind of explore some of the trails with this cool, very capable scooter. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay guys, so hopefully you can hear me. I'm just kind of walking on the trail, and initially what I tried to do was turn on my beacon, that GPS beacon, connect to it through my phone, and then I realized to pull in the maps I had to disconnect my Wi-Fi, and so I disconnected my Wi-Fi from the beacon. So maybe it downloaded some information because I wasn't using my phone at all on that flight. But anyway, I turned off the Wi-Fi to the beacon, and then I just have my cellular on, and it thinks it sees the drone over here. Yeah, so it was right off this path. There it is. So I was on the path over there, and I just looked to my left, and there was the Skydio just sitting here in the forest. Looks like it just found a place to land where it got stuck last. So anyway, found my Skydio, hooray. So y'all, if you have any trouble, that's one way to find it if you're just using the beacon.